Hey everybody, this is JT with the town of Livingston. Today I'm excited because I have a guest coming on after I go through a few business items here in town. So I'll give you a little hint. This guest has won a recent competition and it will make the podcast much easier to watch when they come on. So stay tuned for that, and I know some of you are probably just going to scroll past all the town business and see who this guest is because you're nosy. But if you want to stick around and see what we have to talk about with the town, you'll be delighted to see who's coming on and hear about what they're doing and their passions and how they are using their platform to make a difference in our community. So I'm excited to have them on. But first I want to talk about a few things we have coming up. So on Saturday at 9 a.m. is going to start our team up to clean up, our trash bash, whatever you want to call it, here in the town of Livingston. We have been letting everyone know our focus this year is going to be on Bloss Street. So we have about 40 flower beds that we've been working with the Livingston Master Gardeners on. This is a demonstrative garden that we are doing over on Bloss Street. So those flower beds have been in place for about a year now, but we're going to be freshening them up. We just went and picked up about 80 bales of hay today. Well, not hay, some pine straw, about 80 bales. We have flowers that's going to be planted. We will have jambalaya out there. Dusty Glasscock, our councilman, will be preparing jambalaya for all the participants. We will have t-shirts to give out. So come enjoy Saturday morning with us for a couple hours, beautifying our town. We may have some people go around and pick up some trash, but I know our DPW department does a pretty good job of that. So we just wanted to do something a little different this year and focus our efforts on that section of Bloss Street, the flower beds. It looks really good right now, but we're going to make it look even better. So if you can, go on Facebook. We have an event on there on the Town of Livingston Facebook page, and let us know if you're coming. It helps us out with t-shirts to kind of RSVP. We have a few that's already signed up that will be here. So we're looking forward to it. If you have any gardening tools, especially wheelbarrows, if you have any wheelbarrows, that would help us out. Bring some gloves and let's just get out there and enjoy some time with our community and our neighbors. We have coming up tomorrow evening is the Doyle High School girls softball game. Quarterfinals will be facing Lauraville. So this is going to be Friday evening at 6 p.m. So come out, show your support for our girls. If they win this, they will be going to state in Lake Charles or Sulphur. They will be going to that next week to compete for a state championship. So come help cheer them on. I know Tuesday night we had a playoff game and we had a lot of fans, and I think that really does help with the energy with the girls. They see that you're out supporting them, the community's out supporting them. So we're going to ask you to come back out, support them tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And in saying that, I do want to reiterate again, and we've posted it on social media on Monday, on Tuesday, the parking. So we have LPR baseball and softball games going on as well tomorrow night. We ask if you are participating in LPR to please park in the field between the park and the gym, the elementary, or in the back parking lot, just to help out with our high school team. And if you do park up front, just be considerate. We still had some people that blocked people in on Tuesday night. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you just didn't see the cars that you blocked in. But do me a favor, and when you park anytime, I can't believe I'm having to say this, but if you're parking, just look left, right, in front, behind you, and make sure you're not blocking anybody in, because that causes a lot of headaches. We have to go try to find the person, get them to move. It causes a lot of inconvenience. So do your best to not block anybody in when you're parking. Unfortunately, we don't have designated parking spots right now at the park. We are working on that because of the issues we've had. We had last week people parking 4 deep. Obviously, car in front, car behind, and 2 in between, can't get out. So just hopefully use a little common sense and try not to block anybody in when you're parking. And most people do that. They are considerate, but we do have a few. We had a few Tuesday night that were blocked in. So please do your best to not block anybody in. Baseball playoffs. So our boys, they have qualified for the LHSAA baseball tournament, and they are the 5 seed. So we will have a bye this week. Their first game, I believe, will be next Friday. And so we'll ask you to come and cheer them on as well. Support all of our teams and their accomplishments. Like I said, it takes a lot of work, dedication throughout the year, the entire year, to get to these points. So right now, playoff times, this is what they do it for. So come out and support both our boys baseball team and our girls softball team tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Late bills. So we've had a lot of people calling. Some of you that have your online accounts, you may not even know, or like me, I don't even get paper bills anymore. I've opted out of that. But for those of you that do receive paper bills, we understand that they have come in late this month. There was an issue with the post office in New Orleans, and we know of several entities that bills went out late because they lost. I don't know if they lost the bills. I don't know what happened. All we know, we did some investigative work here, and our utility department found out the post office had something happened with the bill, so they were sent out late. So in saying that, there will be no late fees this month because you are getting your bills late. But I do want to encourage you, you can go on our website, townoflivingston.com, go to the utility account portal, and you could sign up for an account. You will need your account number to do so. You can look at your history, your usage history, your billing history. You can pay your bills here. So I would encourage you to do that. If this ever happens again, you can at least see what your balance is. So you can go to our website, set up your account. If you already have an account, you know what to do. You can go on there, click on the utility portal, sign in, and you can see what your monthly bills are. So we want to encourage people to do so. This is just another way to be able to view your account, more transparency. We try to get information, make it easily accessible to our citizens. So that is a way to do so. And if you have any questions about it, how to do it, you're more than welcome to call, come up here, and we will show you how to do so. Moving on to military banners. So we are at 22. So been talking to Miss Sandy with Blue Star Mom. She said we are doing great. I don't know if she could believe we have already done 22. She thought it was going to be hard for us to get to 25, which is the cutoff. So I want to let you know we're at 22. If you want to order a banner for your military hero, please do so. We only have 3 spots left. Now, we will reassess this. If we get to 25 pretty quick, we may move it to 30, but we don't know if we're going to do so yet. So if you know you want to get a banner, go ahead and do it. We got our poll brackets in today. We got 25 poll brackets in today, so we can place them around town. So go ahead and do that. It's on our Facebook page, and it walks you through the process. You will need a picture of your military hero too to put on the banner. National Day of Prayer is going to be on May 2nd at 9 a.m. across at Circle Drive Park. We've already sent letters out to all of our pastors and people that have participated in the past. We may be reaching out to you to maybe do a prayer on a certain subject. So that's what we do every year. We are looking for possibly somebody to come and bless us with a song or two. We do that every year, and we'll be looking for someone to come do a message as well for that event on May 2nd. That's always a good event, a good fellowship with our community, local churches. People come, and we usually have a pretty good crowd, so we're looking forward to that, and we're just going to pray we have good weather for that event. So one more item, I don't want to forget about this. I know you've seen it on social media, on our police department social media page. They are doing a campaign this month for launch for autism awareness. So I know they've been out, they've been going to our schools, to businesses for sponsors. If you are interested in participating in this and donating to this cause, you will see some of our police units going around town with puzzle pieces on it, and there's also a QR code there that you could scan and you can donate, or you could go to the PD's Facebook page and click on the link. I'm sure they have some links attached there where you can donate to this cause. So be sure and try to support that. They're out and about and asking for everyone's support to raise money for launch. So I tried to get through that pretty quick, and I know some of you are wondering, the ones that actually watched this and didn't scroll past it, wondering, well, who is this guest today? And you may have already figured it out by the little hint I gave. But I'm going to go ahead and welcome this guest on, and we're going to talk about their passions, their accomplishments, and anything else they want to talk about, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're back, and as promised, we got our special guest, Miss Sydney Taylor. If all of y'all didn't figure it out earlier at the beginning of the podcast, I know y'all probably I think they scrolled past everything I was talking about to see who the guest was. So before Sydney kind of tells you what she's here for, and before we congratulate her for all her success, just real quick, this is in real time. So the Doyle High School girls softball coach reached out to me before Sydney came in, and their game's tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, so make sure y'all support them. And Sydney, you actually coached Doyle last year and the year before, or just like both 2 years?
2 years.
And you played for Doyle High School, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. We are going to designate the front parking, so at the corner of Macklin and South Range, we're going to designate that for the Laurelville team and our Doyle girls fans, so they will be having that roped off. So all LPR teams and coaches, please let your parents know, their fans. We have parking. I'm going to post a map on social media tomorrow in the field between the girls' softball field and the elementary and in the back. So you could park at all those places. We're just going to ask for the Doyle fans to be able to have that parking lot, and the Laurelville fans, the visitors. So that's all I have with that. We will be posting things on social media. So Sydney, welcome to the podcast. It's hard for me to get guests, so I'm glad you came to me. Sydney came up to me Tuesday night at the girls softball game.
Yeah.
We were there, and she has something that she's doing to make an impact in the community. And I said, why don't you come on my podcast, because I need a guest all the time. So you're going to make this podcast a lot easier to watch, because I think people get sick of watching me. So tell everybody a little bit about you, where you grew up, where you went to school, and then we'll kind of continue.
So I grew up in Livingston my whole life. I lived on Macklin Road, and now I live right here in the town of Livingston. I went to Doyle, and then I graduated from Doyle and went to LSU, and I just graduated with my degree in accounting. I plan on going to law school. I was going to go in August, but since Miss USA is in August, I'm going to take one more year off and then just enjoy the year of service that I get representing Louisiana, and I'll just make the most of that before I try and dive into law school. So that was the plan, but plans change, so I'll be waiting another year for that. I think that's about it.
They do change, because I never planned on being mayor, and somehow I'm sitting here doing this. And fun fact about Sydney, she said she grew up on Macklin Road. We were actually neighbors. So me and her parents, me and Billy and Courtney went to high school together, and then we were neighbors. So I saw Sydney grow up, and then they ended up moving over here to Red Oak Road, and then we came right behind them. So we can't get too far.
And Mr. Brad.
Yeah, and our friend Brad Sharp, same thing. We were all neighbors on Macklin, and then we all moved over to Red Oak Road. So tell us how you got into this, because as y'all know, there was a newspaper article last week, and they called and asked me a few things about Sydney, and she wasn't in pageants before. So she was an athlete, a really good athlete, played basketball and softball at Doyle, and then somehow, which I don't really know the whole story, how did you get into pageants?
Well, I had never done anything like this, and people always told me, you should try modeling or you should try pageants, but I just never really put that much thought into it. But Miss Stacy Piku, she was my third grade teacher, she reached out to someone she knew in pageants and told him that I would be a good person to try out, maybe to train and get ready for a pageant. And so that was Ross Walters. He's the director of the Miss Lafayette pageant. And so he's always recruiting girls to try and get them to do his pageant. And so he DM'd me on Instagram and was like, why don't you try this? Miss Stacy Piku gave me your information. And I was like, no way, like there's no way.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I don't have anything going on. It was right after I graduated, so I wasn't playing sports anymore. And I was like, let me just give it a try. So I tried out and I ended up winning. That was Miss Lafayette Teen in 2019. And then I went on to Louisiana Teen and won Louisiana Teen. And then Miss Teen USA, I was 4th runner-up. And after I got 4th runner-up at Miss Teen USA, I was like, well, I mean, I got to come back after that.
Oh, you got to give it a shot
Can't
now.
end on that. So I decided to wait a few years to finish school, finish college, and then I've always planned to do it this year. And so I did Miss Lafayette USA over the summer, and that's a prelim. So whenever you win the prelim, they pay your entry fee, and they give you a bunch of sponsors leading up to Miss Louisiana. And so for all of y'all wondering, that's why I was Lafayette.
So somebody asked me that. I think the newspaper, the interview, they asked me, well, why is she representing Miss Lafayette?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll ask her that.
No, I'm proud to be from Livingston,
Yeah.
but it's an opportunity for them to pay for my way there. They give me a lot of really good sponsors, so that's why I represented Lafayette. And then I just won Miss Louisiana USA, and I'll be going to Miss USA August 4th. And it will be on TV. So
we had a big watch party over at some friend's house, Brian and Lindsay McCaskill, that night. We had probably 25 or 30 people over there watching.
I saw the videos.
Yeah, watching the event.
Cool.
So it was a good time. And I remember when Sydney won Miss Teen Louisiana, and then went on to compete because you had something at your house because I think that's when I was running for mayor at the same time.
We have a picture.
So I'm proud of her just because I got, I know her family and they grew up by us, and of course me and Billy and Courtney all kind of grew up together, so we're especially proud, and we're fine with sharing you with Lafayette a little bit. So we're good with that. Lafayette gets to always claim the good food, but we have the beautiful people inside and out. So let's talk about what you approached me about Tuesday night. What are you doing with this platform? I know this is a passion of yours, and I saw it on social media today. It's one of mine too, and I say this all the time. I would really believe the reason I'm sitting here today is because of what you want to talk about and what impacts kids. So talk to them about that program and what you're trying to do, and then we'll talk about how we're going to implement that into LPR. Maybe next week we might do something at the park with your program.
So growing up playing sports, at the time I didn't realize how much it was affecting me, but now I realize in my day-to-day life, it all goes back to something that I've learned on a field or on a court. And so I just know the value that sports can have on our youth. And I know that not everybody had the same opportunities that I had and weren't fortunate enough to have the parents that I had to be able to provide those things for me. And so I want to help people who don't have the resources that they need. And by doing that, I'm going to be collecting equipment, and because laying around our garage, we have tons of just equipment that we don't use anymore. And I was like, what can I do with this? And I was like, I'm sure other people also have a bunch of equipment. So I'm going around collecting equipment. If you want to email me, misslausa2024@gmail, I'll come to you and get it. And I'll be setting up a tent once or twice. Next week, I'll be going on Thursday, April 25th from 4:30 to 8 p.m. I'll have a tent set up with equipment if you need equipment, or it's all going to be free. If you need equipment, come get some. If you want to donate equipment, I'll be there collecting it too. And I'll be taking pictures with anybody who wants that. But yeah, I just think sports, they hold so much value, and I would hate to see someone not be able to reach their potential because of something that they can't control. So people always ask me what they can do to help me with pageants, and pageantry actually has a big philanthropical background, and that's one of the biggest things with pageants is they want you to be involved in your community. And so if you want to help me, this is a great way that you can help me, because this is my platform for Miss USA. And so this is what I'll be working for until leading up to Miss USA.
So next Thursday night at LPR, weather permitting, we'll keep an eye on that, because I'm sure Sydney's flexible. We want to make sure it's a nice evening. So next Thursday night, you're going to set up at 4:30 and be there until 8. We'll have a tent set up. She will be there. And I want to encourage our citizens as well. I always tell them, we need to support our community and people that have success like you did and what you're doing. And not just use stuff. If you have the resources and you want to buy something new to give to this that Sydney could give, because it's easy for us to just go, look, I could go in my garage and I have 10 gloves and old bats, and it's kind of like, how am I just dump it off on Sydney now? I'm here, you take care of it because I don't want it anymore. But try to find, either go buy something, get something new to give to some kids in need. I think that impacts them so much, and then just giving them our secondhand stuff.
Yeah.
So I would like to encourage anybody with that, and to do so and get with Sydney. And what we will do, we'll post your email on our Facebook page as well to get people in touch. And hopefully I'm going to be bringing you to one of our council meetings to give you a little something from the town. So I'm glad you came. Is there anything else you want to talk about? When is the pageant going to be?
It's August 4th.
August 4th, where?
In Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. So I think my wife, Kelly, might be trying to figure out a way to get out there. Just maybe for an excuse to go to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So, I don't. No, she was talking about it. They were kind of throwing it out there. Some friends trying to come out, but whether she goes there or not, I know our town's going to be supporting you. We're proud of you, and I know you're going to continue to do awesome things with just having this platform. And it's good to see that you're using it to benefit the town, benefit the community, the parish as a whole. Yeah. So I love it. I'm proud of you, and hopefully more people in this town get to do things like you. So, well, we want to welcome Miss Sydney Taylor to the podcast, and she's more than welcome to come join us anytime. Anytime you have anything you want to promote, let me know. Okay. Come on the podcast, and as always, I tell citizens here, if y'all have something that you would like to get out there in the community, come join me. Come be on the podcast, because it's hard sitting here and talking by myself.
Yeah.
So until next week, enjoy your weekend. It looks like it's going to be good weather. So, and we want to congratulate Sydney, and we're going to cheer on to victory. So until next week, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week on another podcast of Let's Talk Livingston.
Bye.
Bye.